Good. Yo, what's happening, people? It's your boy Michael, and welcome to another episode for the Juego Bonito Pod. Today with me, I got our boys from Trafford Tunnel. We got Treble King Mark, Mr. Treble himself, and then we got number one ITK. They call him Tyrezio Romano in the streets.
Oh, that's a nice one.
I take that, man. Big up.
What are you guys saying?
I'm good, man. I'm glad to be on. Obviously, I'd like to see what you're doing. Obviously, Jogger Bonito. A good article, by the way, if people haven't seen what you put out. Obviously, on Just During Timber. Hopefully, he could be someone we're looking at. But yeah, good what you see, what you're doing, Michael. And yeah, obviously, Sarfo is my guy every single time, even though today we're rivals today.
Yeah, man. Just flipping. It's just a joy to be on there because you've been supporting from like the jump, like literally from the jump, like especially like from the outside of the world as well. So it's nice to feel like you're down the road, like so that takes a lot of commitment, a lot of get me. So anytime you need to jump on, you know what it is, man. Patterns there.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so guys, anyone that's listening in today, we're just gonna talk about obviously Erik Ten Hag's official got announced yesterday by Manchester United. The Arsenal game tomorrow, the mid-off that I like to call it because that game's gonna be terrible. I hate that they made an early kickoff. They're gonna make me wake up at 7:30 tomorrow just to watch this crap team.
I didn't even think about that for you, man.
Pissed off. I'm so pissed off. And I heard McTominay is back too, so he's gonna go right into the starting lineup. He's gonna ruin my morning tomorrow. It's Holy Weekend too, because it's my Easter on Sunday, so I can't even curse. It's peak out here. And then last but not least, obviously the Harry Maguire, the news that just came out from the Athletic that he is getting dropped tomorrow according to Ralph, because of the incident that happened yesterday with the bomb threats and all that kind of stuff. Sarfo said that he got dropped because of other reasons, not because of the incident. Respectfully.
That's just my views. I don't want to incriminate anyone or whatnot, but that's just my opinion. It's not the opinion of, well, it could be, but just solely my opinion. My thoughts are my own.
Yes, sir. So yeah, start off Ten Hag. Start with Ty first. Obviously it's been like the most hidden secret in football that United are gonna appoint Ten Hag. We've kind of been knowing for like the last month, really, but officially yesterday. So what are your initial thoughts on the appointment?
Oh man, do you know what? I'm kind of like glad the saga's over because I feel like it's gonna happen, like you said, and I feel like now Manchester United, the fans, the board, we can now move forward. We can now look ahead to what's to come. And I think the main thing for me, if I'm honest with you, man, is that Manchester United have just gone away from doing the predictable, because I think that obviously we went to Mourinho when he was there and he was ready. We went to Van Gaal when he was kind of the only one available after the World Cup. And then obviously we went with Oli, which is kind of the sentiment approach where we're like, okay, we've tried big names. Let's go with someone who knows the club. I feel like Ten Hag is away from the big name and also feel he's away from the sentiment. So we've actually finally, after Ferguson left, 9 years ago when I was at uni, we've gone away from approaches that we've used and failed with already. So, yeah, this is like a complete fresh thing, man. And I'm excited for that because I feel like Manchester United is obviously, I know people might not like John Murtough and Darren Fletcher and stuff like that, but I do feel like them two coming in, we've then got rid of 2 scouts, Ten Hag coming in. I just feel like you can't make 100 changes overnight. Of course you can't. But you can make slow and steady changes. And that's what Manchester United have done. I've heard good things about Murtough from other people. Darren Fletcher, yes, I don't like him in the training ground and I don't like him standing next to Rangnick in the games. I get that. But if he's doing his job that we can't see away from that, cool, I'm all for it because he's in them discussions. And then obviously now we've got a manager that I believe we need to give patience to. I'm excited for it. It's a Liverpool project. As much as I hate the rivals, I'm going to say it's the Jurgen Klopp project. He come eighth in his first season. He then finished 5th or 4th, whatever it was. But it only took him about 3-4 years to then be challenging for multiple trophies and, getting Liverpool back to winning things. But you can see the progression. Fans have to be patient now, man. So I'm happy that we've gone away from the traditional approach. But also I'm hoping now that the fans can back that approach because that's what they've moaned for, they've asked for. You can't then expect him to do wonders in the first season. Let's back him, be patient. And let's see what success he can bring us, man. But I'm excited, man. And I'll tell you the last thing that can tell me that I'm excited. When something happens, right, like when Mourinho got appointed, I drove to work the next day and I was like doubting it or having thoughts about what could go wrong, what could go right. I went to work the next day with Ten Hag and I was like, this is the right appointment. Poch would have left me in that Mourinho one where I'm like, could this happen? Is he going to be a yes man? And I don't want doubts in my head. Ten Hag don't give me no doubts. So I'm ready.
Mark, what are your thoughts on the initial appointment for Ten Hag?
I echo a lot of what Ty says in the sense where I'm just relieved that the whole circus is just over. Like now we can concentrate on like the footballing aspect and like rebuilding. So in that sense, I'm relieved it's over. But I'm happy because I feel like for once, yeah, we've got a modern manager. Like Van Gaal, I felt like Ty said, Van Gaal, I think he was only appointed because of his success during the World Cup, whatever it was. Mourinho was sort of like the big shiny toy, the big name, the Hollywood, the glitz, the glam. Again, like Ty said, Ole he outperformed him. He outperformed himself and got the job based on sentiment. Like I remember, like my group chat when Ole first got appointed, and one guy he from the jump, literally from the jump, he said Ole's going to set us back a lot more further than we've ever been set back. And to this day, anytime like we speak on in the group chat, I just bring it up and say, you know what, flowers. I'll take my hat off to you because you was right from the jump. I feel like disappointment regarding Ten Hag, it's the right one. It's like, do you remember like in 2013-14 when we tried to get Klopp? I feel like that is a sort of appointment that should have been made, but we obviously missed the boat. But I feel like I'm getting the same sort of vibe this time around. So when Liverpool appointed Klopp after his spell at Dortmund, like obviously being a United fan, I was just hating and didn't want it to happen. I didn't want it to work out for them. But taking my sort of my bias aside or bias away, that was such a brilliant move, and it was the right move, especially at the right time. And I get this feeling regarding disappointment because now all of a sudden we've got a massive like rebuild, and I feel like he can come in and just be like, you're either with me or against me, and United have to back him in that regard. So I'm happy, man.
Yeah, I agree with both your points. Like I've been saying like that. We finally hired a manager. I think Haas said it on his streams like too. Like at the right time. I think like Van Gaal was a little too late. David Moyes, we threw him to the wolves right away. We didn't even give him a chance, to be honest. Jose was like he had won the Premier League like 18 months before, but you could kind of tell that Jose was on the decline in terms of modern football.
Yeah.
Ole was a job, even if he, like you guys say, overperformed his interim spell. And now we have Ten Hag, Ajax manager. He's won everything with them. Took him to the UCL semifinal. Could have gone a little further this year. They were unlucky against Benfica after watching back the games. So it is the right appointment. I agree with Ty with the Darren Fletcher. I don't know if you guys saw, like, there was an article that said that Ralph doesn't understand like why Darren Fletcher is kind of next to him. Do you guys think one of my friends asked me this? Do you think like Darren Fletcher has any influence on like the lineups because he's like always there and he's like always on the training ground?
Do you know what it is? Yeah, I think Darren Fletcher. Yeah, from what people have told me, yeah, he's really really good in terms of like bridging the gap between sort of like the academy and the first team. But the only issue is that because he's such a young technical director, he's also capable of playing football still. I feel like he just tends to overstep the mark in terms of getting involved with like the rondos.
Yeah, it's like the hunger of him makes him want to still play.
Yeah,
football.
like
yeah.
If he was like 10 years older, I'm pretty sure. Let's say he was 15 years older, he's not getting involved. But the fact that he just retired, like not the other day, but not so long ago, he can still play.
Oh,
and like,
he wants to show. It's like he wants to show them. I can still do it, you know. Like
if you ever gone to watch your mate play football, yeah, and there's always that dad in the stand that's saying, "I could do that." That's
yeah. You go to watch your kids on the Sunday league. You got to do a little kick up, a little rondo or something. They're like, hey, yeah.
But from what I'm hearing, he does have like a brilliant like mind, and he along with Murta are probably just bouncing off each other, just shadowing Ralph in it. So I feel like them two in time will be a good partnership. But I don't think he should be as involved like in terms of like the coaching side, because I think he's still a first team coach as well. I believe he's the first team coach / technical director. I think. I'm not too sure.
I don't know.
I might need to double check, but it wouldn't surprise me if he was some sort of coach in some sort of capacity, because you still see him on the training ground, like in pictures and whatnot. So I just feel like he just needs to be a technical director in it. But maybe that will come once the structure is like fully like laid out.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think so. Even I was doing a show with Statman Baines yesterday, and we're looking at the structure of what the Athletic put out like 12 months ago when they done that hierarchy when Murta come in, and you've noticed already that there's a few gaps now that have actually been taken out, and you can see that Ragnick and Murta are now starting to bridge that gap. Like the 2 scouts that have gone out, they've kept 1 scout because that 1 scout is heavy on data analysis apparently, which is what Ten Hag likes. So certain things like that where they're starting to like merge the little things together, and I think having to say like Darren Fletcher, I like what he did. I know it's a small take, but I like what he was bringing as a pundit. I remember he was on a BT Sport for quite a bit. And I'm not saying that everything he said was right, but he articulated himself well, where I could relate to what he's saying. Whether I agree or not, it's like when we're on pods here. People might not agree with what we're saying, but I think the way we articulate ourselves, we give them an understanding of what we're trying to say still. And I think that's where Fletcher's very good. He's clear with his words. He knows what type of football like he wants to play, even though, yes, he might not be able to deliver that. And I just feel like with Fletcher, like 15 said, yes, he's young. And they always say, you know, you can't learn on the job at Manchester United. It's like Ollie, what's he done really? Yes, he might have managed at Mould and won a couple things, but you were learning on the job at a big club like Manchester United. I do feel like Darren Fletcher gets away with it because, in a good way, because he's kind of learning on the job still being a technical director because he's only been in this role at Man United. But the fact that you've got Ralph Rangnick there next to you who's built football clubs. You've got John Murta now who was head of development at Everton for a number of years. He's built football clubs or built academies as well. I feel like Fletcher, even though he's learning on the job, he's learning from actually the right people. So it kind of like aids him in a sense because, yes, he's got his own little nous, but yeah, there'll be things that naturally he won't know. But if you needed people around you that know, Ragnick could be one, John Murta will be one, and I'll even say McLaren and Ten Hag coming in. You've got the young and you've got the experience there. So I feel like Fletcher, for him, fortunately, is in good hands. So I don't really mind him being involved. I just hope next season he's not in the dugout as much and he's focused, like 15 said, on bridging that gap between the academy and just focusing on what he needs to grow and develop into being Man United's technical director, really.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I would take the Murtaugh point. I didn't even know, like, I knew he worked at Everton, but I didn't know, like, the years exactly. And I saw a tweet yesterday, like, he was there, I think, 2007 to 2012. And I know that's, like, Everton's, that's
and
their
he's
best years in
seen
the Premier
us.
League.
And me and Statman were saying yesterday, like, for me, if there was anyone that's going to come in as the head of development, that time there, you just said 2007 to 2012, Manchester United, Champions League final 07-08, Champions League final 09-010, Champions League final 2010 and 2011, won the league in 07-08, won the league in 09-10. He's seen Manchester United, who were, you could say, considered their third biggest rivals near Merseyside. He has seen us go through the winning mentality, winning trophies, to them watching our demise. So the fact that he's kind of witnessed that and seen that, I like that he can hopefully bring that, you know, bring us back that way because he's seen what we were like before. So it's not like he's just coming in and he's a 30-year-old and he's like not seeing us. He's growing up in that sort of era. But yeah, he actually has seen us win. He's been a development guy and he's seen us fall as well. So I kind of feel like it's giving him that hunger to then want to bring us back. I think that's important, man. The fact that you said there too, I didn't know it was 2007 to 2012. That's when we were very successful. We were unlucky not to be the best team ever, you could say in asterisks, because we played a Barcelona team that unfortunately were brilliant twice. So
he was also head of player development at United as well.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Before, see, yeah. So he went from Everton to us, then development, and then to this role. Yeah. So do you know what I mean? Like you got to give him his flowers, man.
Yeah. Quick little comment. Big up Robbie. Big up Top Red. I'm not a Top Red. I hate that.
Top Red, you know.
It's a joke from yesterday. Oh yeah.
I don't get involved in all that Top Red stuff. I don't really know what it all is about, to be fair.
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm saying yesterday. I was on some show yesterday, and some guy was going off about Top Reds as well. I was like, yeah, whatever, man. It's the fan base is just, that's another discussion for another day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But back to Ten Hag. So obviously the big question is, what do people expect? You have, like I said, the fan base divided. So you have a part of the fan base that thinks that he should be able to win right away. There's a part of the fan base that says 5-6 years, which is, I think, is a little too much. I think it's a little too far ahead. Like, because I think I keep talking about like the Klopp development. I'm in the same boat as you. Like, I think the Liverpool system is something United should follow because they have American owners just like us. So it's not like City where we could just we can't spend that much money, but we'll never spend that much money. So it's kind of about finding the shrewd signings, the right players, like how Liverpool have found Jota, who else? Luis Diaz, who's brilliant right now. So I'm on the feeling like I think Ralph said it too. He said 2 to 3 transfer windows. I think he
Mm.
said United should be right back. I think I said 3 to 4 because I think the one thing advantage we have over Liverpool is we have way more. We spend much more money than them. So if we could get those shrewd signings, but get like double of that, I think we'll be able to rebuild a little quicker than Liverpool. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah. One thing I will say is that like managers ain't got like it's not like back in the day. Like managers don't have the same amount of time. So when I think Carragher says 5 to 6 seasons, that's nonsense, bro. If you don't get it right after 2 seasons, your head's on the chopping block. So what I will say is short-term success always gives you long-term leverage. And I don't expect like Ten Hag to come in and win like the quadruple straight away, but he needs to show some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Like a plan moving forward. And I feel like once he shows a plan and starts to execute it, I think fans will get on board, and that will probably allow him to have like 5-6 transfer windows. But I think what he needs to do from the jump is just get the right profile of players in. Once he does that, I think people will be on board. But obviously, he has to get the results. But I think the main thing is, especially with the rebuild, the player profile. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I echo it, man. I think it's about signing the right players because at the end of the day, what you got to be realistically, okay, let's look at this window. They're saying they want 6 players to come in. Maybe 4 of them might be transfers, 2 of them might be free transfers. That's half a start in 11. So if we're saying 3 windows, like you said, they said Michael as well, which I saw, I wouldn't count January transfer window. I kind of bypass that because I don't think top teams really make, apart from Luis Diaz, you get the odd signing that happens in January and it works out. But I look at it as this summer 23, summer 24. Now, you get 6 players in this summer, and you get 4 players in maybe next summer. That's 10 players. I don't expect us to be challenging for the title, but I definitely expect us to be improving because I do think the football will get better next year. And then if we get 5 or 6 players, he's going to incorporate them into the system because he's getting players that he actually wants. So I think when it comes to expectations, like your original question was, is that I go into next season and my expectation is not on a league finish, not on winning cups. My expectation is actually better football first. So a lot of people say I want top 4, I want this and that. I actually said to Statman yesterday, like I want better football first. That's my first expectation because we've seen what we've had to watch over the years. Not even years. I'd probably say since Mourinho as well and Van Gaal, where we used to not even score at home for 11 games in a row till half time. So I just want to see better football first. And then with that, if we win, lose or draw, but I'm seeing a plan, I'm seeing us lose games with a fight, I'm seeing us actually go out and play attacking football, whatever it may be under Ten Hag, I'm then looking at league position after. So better football for me first. And some people disagreed with me yesterday. I said, I don't mind if we done a top 6 finish, but I thought, like I said, better football. But then we can go for it. I'll actually try and win the Europa League. And I think, do you know what? With domestic cups, you could go far because if you get a Rochdale, then you get a Bolton, then you get a Sheffield United, and then you get a Newcastle, you might be in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. You could get Liverpool in round 3 of the FA Cup, which I then don't expect to beat. So with domestic cups, it's kind of, let's see what the draw happens, but go for it in the Europa League. And I just feel like league position-wise, yes, our squad probably could be good enough to get top 4, but you're competing with Chelsea, Arsenal, and Tottenham, who are all going to improve because Liverpool and City are going to get it. So for me, yeah, better football first, and then the expectations coming after of league position and stuff like that. And then second year, then I'll be saying, right, definitely top 4. Because if I sat and said to you now, Ten Hag comes in next season and he makes 5 or 6 signings and he gets us top 4, you lot will be like, that's a good season. So for me, if that's a good season, that's not going to be my expectation then. Do you know what I mean? And that's why better football comes first before league position.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. I forgot what I said. I think I said I would like top 4 in a way because I love UCL. I love UCL football. It's just like the UCL nights at Old Trafford. They're just special. So obviously you want that. But obviously, I mean, it's like you said, we have Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs. I expect Chelsea to take a step. I think with like all the controversy going on around them, they're losing so many players. Rudiger might be leaving, and I think he's their second best center back. Might be going to Old Trafford based on what we saw today. I don't know. His agent is teasing us, man.
He ain't coming, man. He ain't coming.
Yeah, and then Arsenal, we'll see I think if they bottle top 4 this year, they might take a step back because their whole plan was based on them getting top 4 this year. That was their whole process. So that's a key for their recruitment. And Spurs, I think, are the biggest contender because they have Antonio Conte, and if they spend in the summer, then we'll see what happens with them. But like with the Cups, like you said, if we're in Europa League, I don't know about expect to win it because, like you said, it's a luck of the
You
draw.
think we could go deep? Exactly. We got to the final under Oli, man.
Like I think we go semi-final like minimum because like you don't know what teams could drop in because like we saw this year Barcelona dropped in, like you never know what could happen. But I expect to go deep in that, and then the Cups, like you said, luck of the draw, especially with our luck of the draw because we have the worst luck when it comes to Cups. Like we drew West Ham right away in the first round of the Carabao Cup this year, so yeah, the FA hates us, but whatever. But yeah, so I kind of have those similar expectations.
What do you have as expectations, Mark?
Yeah, I forgot.
Expectations.
Big ups and down.
See, my expectations all like based on sort of like the recruitment. Like, if we have a good summer, that could like drastically change my expectations, like completely. I think everything for me is just based on recruitment. Because if we pull if we go out and spend like hypothetically 200 million, we bring in like 3 or 4 good hungry young players, or let's say 5 good young hungry players. We plug the holes that we need to. We could not. I don't say like we could be like a dark horse here, but we could surprise like a lot of people. Like people would be thinking, we're gonna get like 6, 7, and we could pull up and just like win. I mean, not win, but like finish 3rd or 4th, depending on like if we're playing in Europe or whatnot. Like if we have like 1 game a week. So like for me, it all just depends on the work that's being put together now. But ideally, or that aside, I would like to think for goals probably to finish in the top 4 as of now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
I hear you. Do you guys think like because obviously next season we have the World Cup year because the World Cup is in the winter. I think that's going to play a huge effect on teams because the players are going to be going right from the domestic season halfway through, and then I heard that they jam-packed all the European games, right? Like the group stages, they jam-packed them all into like one. So it's kind of like you have to play 2 games a week no matter what up until the World Cup if you're in Europe. So do you guys think that will play like a huge effect on our chances? That's why I wanted 8th originally.
I didn't know that, I didn't. That's interesting. I'm glad you said that now because I will look out for that when it comes to dates next year. I don't believe so. And I'll tell you why, yeah. If we get Champions League, I would probably believe so. I don't think we get the Champions League, so I'm going to talk like we're not. Let's say we're in Europa League, right? Because I think that's the majority of what we're going to get. Yeah. So the reason I don't think it affects us a lot, right, is because the Europa League for me, as much as I love the Champions League, like everyone does, I think that's the best thing that could happen to us. I really do. And the reason I think that is because you've got a squad right now where you've got some players that basically want to leave already. You've got the free transfers that are going to go out. That's going to be 8 or 9 players. And then you're going to have your 5 or 6 signings that are coming in. And then you're still going to have the players like, okay, they might go out on loan, but you're going to have the Hannibal Mejbris, you're going to have the James Garners, you're going to have Ethan Laird that's going to be coming back. You're going to have Amad Diallo. And I'm not saying that these players are going to be, oh my God, they're going to be in the first team every week in the Premier League. No. But when you're Ten Hag, right, and everyone's coming in on a clean slate, all these players want to prove themselves. And I said to Statman yesterday, right, if you're in the Champions League, these Hannibals, these James Garners,
they're not getting a chance.
They're not getting a chance. You're not going to be able to play because the emphasis is on winning a game. And like you said, you might get a pot 2 where you've got a Juventus and a Dortmund in your group. When you're in the Europa League, you might have one good team like a Marseille. Then you've probably got a team from, Serbia, and you've got a team maybe from Russia, which you should beat. So what it does, it then enables Ten Hag to utilize the squad properly, play 6 youngsters with maybe a bit of 5 experienced players and rotate. And he can then find out himself within that first season who's fit for me in the future, who's not fit for me from this younger pool as well. So I feel like the Europa League could be a blessing because we'll rotate between the experienced players and the seniors, you could say. And then you can also then incorporate the youth, which gives them a fair chance. Because if you're in the Champions League, Michael, where are they getting game time? They're not. Because the emphasis will be on to win and get through that group. And you're not going to do that playing the youngsters. So for me, the Europa League, for us going forward as a football club, would actually be the better thing, I think. And then in future, 2nd and 3rd season under Ten Hag, of course, I want Champions League.
Also, yeah, like, respectfully, it also gives you a chance to win a Europa League. I'm not saying, like,
exactly
everyone in the Europa League is not good, but once we get to sort of, like, the last 16 or whatever, all of a sudden, every team there looks quite beatable. I'm not saying that it's going to be like a tough group stage and whatnot, but once once you get to like the last 16, yeah, especially like teams of our caliber, they start to look around and think, this is us for the taking. Like, we could actually win this. Like, when we won it in 2015, 2015? 2015?
2017.
2017, sorry. Like, I remember the round was something like Anderlecht and
Celta Vigo.
Celta Vigo, and then I think another team. It's just like, so when you get to that stage, it's all of a sudden it becomes very, very winnable. So it definitely presents the opportunity to win it.
Yeah, 100%. And once they get that knack of winning, they want more. Jordan Henderson always said it. Like, he's not the best player, but he goes, when I won, I wanted more, and I still want more. So,
yeah. This is kind of leading into our next topic. Don said if Paul Mitchell comes, I think he'll be the head of recruitment apparently. So yesterday night, I think L'Equipe said that Paul Mitchell is looking to move to the Premier League, and the two clubs linked with him allegedly are United and Chelsea. I heard that Ralph kind of already recommended him to the board. Do you guys know much about him?
He was at Southampton and he was quite decent. Obviously, he went with Poch to Spurs, and the model at Spurs was a bit different because they already had sort of like a recruitment team, and it was just like, we'll give you the players, you just work with them. So I think his time at Spurs probably won't be looked at quite fondly. But in terms of Southampton, he done really well. Like, he brought over like Wanyama, like he helped bring over Mane, I believe. Like maybe possibly even Van Dijk. So all those players that sort of like were at Southampton, he played a huge part in bringing over. I know now he's at Monaco, and again, like a lot of people in France aren't too happy at that sort of like how Monaco are progressing. But what he has done at Monaco is that he's brought down the average age of that side down to like 21, 22. So a lot of the players you see from Monaco are really young with like huge potential. I know obviously they're not winning, and fans aren't seeing sort of like the benefits of it now. But like, say they miss out on the Champions League, and then they have to sell like a key player for like 80 million. That could then be reinvested in sort of bringing in some more young talent. So I think he is sort of a good person to help recruitment. But I feel like if he comes to United, I don't necessarily think he'll be head of recruitment. I think he's just going to be sort of like a footballing man that bridges the gap between, let's say, John Murta and the money men. Or like, he's going to be like sort of like the eyes and the ears, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what role he'd. The thing is, like, I don't know. I'm not against Paul Mitchell coming in, because obviously I respect what Paul Mitchell's done. Like 15 said, he was very good at Southampton. Even when he was at Spurs, he brought through Dele Alli, Heung-min Son. Like, his transfer history at Spurs was pretty successful as well. And I do like, obviously, the knack that he's worked with Ragnick as well. And they like them players that come up like Mane, the Nkunkus and stuff like that. And they have a good talent ID spot. The only thing is, for me, is that we're undergoing them changes at the moment, which I was talking about. So you get rid of two scouts, and you've got Fletcher, Ragnick, and Murta potentially all working together now. When you then get Paul Mitchell in, like, is it just too much all at the same time? Like, as much as he's good at his role, not taking anything away from him, is there just like, you're in a meeting room and there's just eyes and ears and there's voices everywhere, and it's like, just calm down. Like, we're moving slow and steady. Like I said, steady progress is better than just trying to throw. As much as we're trying to throw money at getting loads of different big names, I don't want to then just go and get loads of big names upstairs and then that starts going wrong. So for me, like Paul Mitchell, it would really depend on what his role is going to be, because we've already got Fletcher, we've already got Ragnick, and we've already got Murta. And these guys are, I'm not going to say we've seen the fruits of the labour yet, but last summer we got Sancho, which we needed. We got Varane. We got Ronaldo. As much as people didn't want him, or they did want him, but we got Ronaldo. And now we've got Ten Hag. So you could say, in terms of the 12 months they've had, or 9 months in this role, they've delivered on what they've needed to do. We've seen a few of the academy players now get Garnacho on the bench. We've seen Hannibal Mejbri get a couple minutes, but he's been on the bench. Like, we're starting to slowly improve. And like I said, we just got to carry on that patience. So, yeah, my reservation on Paul Mitchell is not him. It's just whether we're doing too much too quickly.
That's why I think they'll create a role for him, which isn't necessarily a recruitment role. I think it's just going to be a thing where it'll probably be below Ralph, but sort of in between Fletcher and Murta. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I think it's just like, I think what it is just what they're gonna do is probably replace Fletcher and give Fletcher like a lesser role. Maybe sort of like move Fletcher out to sort of like the academy and make him concentrate on the academy, and Mitchell could come in and sort of like be like the link that that Fletcher was meant to be, and Fletcher could like shadow him as well. Because remember, I do think there's like a deputy head of football role that's vacant that United are looking to fill. So
and I think that would probably be perfect for Paul Mitchell, if I'm totally honest. And I think, if I'm right or wrong, I don't know, but I think even his clause or his contract to get him out of Monaco isn't exactly like expensive. I think it's a deal that if Man United want to do it, we can get it done. Which is important. And also, I know that Tchouameni's going to obviously Real Madrid, probably 70% or 75%, whatever that is completed. I even players like Badiashile. I know he's not really spoken about, but he's a left centre back. Sorry, should I say? France under 21 international. I'm not saying that, oh my God, he's going to be the next big thing, but if he is a player that, for example, we got as a centre back because Paul Mitchell recommended him, I would take that in a heartbeat, because I'd back and believe what he's saying in terms of the talent and the potential he has. So there could be players, like Mark said, from Monaco that, you know, could be of interest in the next couple of years, man. So yeah, I'm all for it. I suppose if Ragnick's going to be there and he's worked with Paul Mitchell, and then you've got Fletcher and Murta, that would be it for me though. Lock it up after that. You've got 4 strong hands, man. You don't need 5, man. Do you know what I mean? So let's see what happens. But by the way, if we don't get Paul Mitchell, we survive. I don't think it's going to be. It's not like Paul Mitchell. As much as everyone on Twitter is like, if we get Paul Mitchell, yeah, this is us. We're set. Like, I'm thinking, like, guys, like, if we don't get Paul Mitchell, we're still fine anyway, because we've got the manager, we've got Ragnick who's still there, and we've got Fletcher and Murta who are doing the right things at the moment. So yeah, like, it's not the be all and end all.
I agree, and especially when you think about it, Ralph's here for like 2 years. Yeah.
A lot can happen.
I guarantee you, once he gets like the knack of it, he's gonna want to be here for longer. Because I feel like, see, Ralph, I don't believe he ever wanted to coach United in the sense where, like, he come in as an interim. I think his driving force here was the fact that he, like, his own ego believes he could make United great again.
Yeah. He wants to be part of that. And once he sees Ten Hag doing well, he's like, I want to be part of this.
And I think that's always been the driving force. I don't think I think he took the coaching job as part of going upstairs, but I feel like what's driving him is the fact that he wants to be the guy that puts United back on top. And he's done brilliant at Leipzig, done well at Salzburg. But I think that's what's driving his ego. And I feel like once he gets his claws stuck in, it's going to be longer than 2 years. So like Ty said, whether Paul Mitchell doesn't come, it's not a big deal, man. Like, Fletcher and Murta are trying to do the right things. Ten Hag, everywhere Ten Hag's been, he's been working with a technical director. He was a technical director himself in Holland. So, like Ty said, you've got the main ingredients in place. I feel like we're set.
Yeah, even just touch on one point where you said about Ragnick as well. Like, he's got the fire in his belly. He wants to, like, try and get Manchester United to the top. I always think about it, right? You've been at Hoffenheim and Leipzig. No disrespect to them. Leipzig have come up great in the last 10, 15 years. They weren't even a team really in 2000 when I was watching football. Big up to Leipzig. And then Hoffenheim, yes, they're a team that he's brought up through the championship in equivalent of obviously Germany. But Ragnick has never worked in a club at the status of Manchester United. You went to Lokomotiv Moscow. Yeah, you might be all right in Russia, but you're not a European giant. You're not one of them teams in the world that everyone knows. So I feel like with Ten Hag, with Ragnick, it's like that opportunity's come for him now that he's at a club like Manchester United of this status. He don't want to just walk away. If he can get us great again, like 15 said, he's not done it at a team that's, an average team. You've done it at a big Manchester United, a club that he's never worked at before, and also a club across Europe he's never worked at that level before. So I feel like it's new for Ragnick as well. He's built up medium clubs in these lower clubs, but rebuilding a huge club like Manchester United, top 4 in the world, it's like a new challenge for him as well, which I think is exciting.
I mean, I can just tell that, like, he wants to sail into the sunset with a pina colada, and just tell people, see that team? That was all me.
I did that.
I did that.
Yeah, facts. He does. I hope he does get involved as much. I'm very intrigued because there's not a lot still been said on what happens to him after, and I hope that, like, you know, when I saw that report, I think he was going to be involved 6 days a month. Sorry, I don't know if that's true. I'm saying the report. Like, for me, I want him to be involved more than that. Do you know what I mean? I want it to be kind of like, even if he does 2 hours work a day, he's actually involved on a regular basis. He knows what's going on. I don't want it to be like, oh, we're doing a Zoom call next week. Do you want to jump on next Tuesday? Yeah, all right. Like, I don't want that. I want him to be involved.
I think that's exaggerated, man. I feel like, see Ten Hag, yeah, especially being as vocal as he is, he's always gonna want to know like what's happening. Like, I don't. What was it? You say 6 days a year?
Yeah, Ragnick, 6 days a month.
6 days a month. Please.
Yeah.
That guy, he could have stopped talking about football for 6 days a month if he tried to.
Yeah, facts.
Come on, he's gonna be there. He's involved. He's gonna be active.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you guys said, because like I feel when people say like Man United is kind of like, a lot of people call him the sleeping giant. That's what everyone keeps calling us. We're like the sleeping giant, and like people say, oh, no manager wants to come. Every manager, like, I think a big reason why Ten Hag wanted the United job is the next manager that wins something with us. That's a legend. That cements your legacy, because you've revived Man United with the biggest on like arguably the biggest club in the 2000s, because you won pretty much everything first period in a long time. So like with Ralph, like Ty said, like Leipzig that season, if he did work at like Bayern Munich or Dortmund, obviously he would have been like, people will know more about it. But he wants to fix United. I mean, this guy keeps talking about, like, because what he says like shows like what he says, like,
he says the right things, man.
Like, he wants to be here based on what he says, and like honestly, like the goalies already kind of did it. Like, he talked about scouting. They fired their head scouts 2 days later, which obviously was a good thing, because those scouts scouted Wan-Bissaka at 800 for right back. So that says a lot about them. But anyway, and then he talked about the fitness coaches, which is something I really want to like fix. I said our fitness coaches might be the worst in the country, because you see our intensity during games, and like you see players kind of have, like Ralph talks about how he's not happy with how many injuries players have. I don't know if he's hinting at like players themselves, like how they take care of their body, or if he's hinting at fitness coaches, which I think it's fitness coaches, because if you guys remember with Pogba, he wanted his own doctors because he didn't trust the United medical staff. So I think that's why I hope Ten Hag brings his fitness coaches from like Ajax, because you see Anthony, this guy's like 20 years old, and he's like, you can see like his veins popping out of like his neck when he like flexes after he scores goals and stuff like that. So I just hope that like we just get a whole new coaching staff.
Our intensity, our running stats are poor. And I know people might be like, oh, this running and passion and desire. For me, it's just basic parts of football. It's not even part of passion and desire. If you're playing football for 90 minutes, you want to be able to run. You want to be you want to be able to be fit. If you're doing a marathon, you're expected to run the marathon. It's not about, do you know what I mean? Whether you're running it for 24 miles and blah, blah. No, you run the marathon, so you train for the marathon. You play football for 90 minutes, so you want to run for 90 minutes.
Every coach, sorry to cut you off, but every coach that's come in here has literally said the same thing about our physicality. Moyes said it. I think Van Gaal said certain players weren't, like, when Van Gaal come in here, straight away he put Luke Shaw on a fitness regime, because he said he played the role. He said, who else? He said Cleverley wasn't good enough. Like, a lot of coaches that have come in here have said we just aren't fit enough. Jose Mourinho said that we're not intense enough. Ole Solskjaer again said, I think maybe against Everton when we got spanked 4-0 or some rubbish like that. He said that the players weren't running enough. So everyone that's come in has said it. Like Ralph says physicality about like 10 times in every press conference he's had since he's been here. Like every press conference he has, he mentions physical or physicality or intensity. So it's definitely something we need to incorporate into our progression next season.
And it won't even be something we notice straight away. Like, we'll see gradual changes, and we'll probably still have look at Jurgen Klopp. I remember he said it about Liverpool, and the amount of muscular injuries they must have had that first season he had. I will never forget it. Like, it was insane. Like, every game there was literally someone just going down injured. Yeah. And like, it took him about a year and a half just to get that intensity, that high press, and obviously him also buying plays in that year and a half at the same time. So it can take time, but like I said, if we see better football, we see better fitness, we see gradual changes, then I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it 100%.
Yeah, I think Ten Hag also, like, I think he's similar to Pep. I heard a couple of players say that, like, he even like is in like Van Gaal in charge of like their diets and stuff, like what they eat, because he wants to make sure that they're like their peak physicality. And like I know Pep is like that too. Pep Pep makes sure that you eat the right stuff because if you're not like up to the intensity levels for him, he'll drop you and he'll send you back to Spain or whatever country you came from. So yeah, it's pretty much about Ten Hag. We pretty much gotta hope. That's the one thing, like with the Muscular you talk about, like it's a good thing that he's coming in like in the beginning of the season because the players will have preseason to kind of get somewhat adjusted to the intensity. Obviously, it was not going to be the same. Like Klopp came in midseason, so the players were kind of already played games, so that kind of added the effect. And I think Ralph wanted to do the same thing. He wanted to like have us do the high pressing stuff, but the players obviously didn't want to do it because it came out to the media. So yeah. So yeah, next topic, Arsenal, the game tomorrow, early kickoff, noon. My expectations are rock bottom. I don't even know what to expect. I could see us losing 4-0. I could see us also beating them because they're Arsenal, because that club is like so inconsistent. They're as inconsistent as us. So Mark, I'll go to you first. What are you saying about tomorrow's game?
We're winning because McQuire's not playing. It's as simple as that.
I agree. I'm with it. Nah, Michael, I'm with it. I'm glad you said it.
I'm not, and I'll be honest with you. Yeah. Let me articulate this correctly. The recent events have provided a decent cushion for him to steer away from the limelight. Because had he played tomorrow and made another mistake, it would have been like his mind's not in the right place or whatever. When really and truly, he's been displaying this form the whole season. Other players, yeah, I'm not gonna name like whoever have had like trials and tribulations this season, and they're playing like Cristiano. I said I wasn't gonna name other players, but Cristiano, tragically, he's grieving. He's gonna play tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, short and sweet. Nah, do you know what? I have to echo Mark. Like with Maguire out, I just feel already that like my confidence in Lindelof and Varane being there together, I'm already breathing positivity. And I know that I do not like this player, Scott McTominay. However, having him back just for the legs and the extra energy in that type of game against Arsenal, I feel like it just suits that type of game. Big pitch at the Emirates, can break the lines. I feel like with Lokonga and Xhaka, McTominay, you know, when he does them little driving runs, I feel like he can explode past them over that 6 to 10 yard dash. There's just certain games where McTominay suits, and I feel like Arsenal was one of them. He scored against them last year, I think, or when it was raining at Old Trafford. He seems to have all right games against Arsenal, and maybe that's because they're expansive as well. So I think McTominay and Varane being back, I think is important, and Ronaldo being back. So basically got a whole different spine to what we had against Liverpool, to what we had against Norwich last week. And I just also feel that the way the season has gone, it'd be typical of us to lose to Liverpool and then win and then be back in the top 4 race, and then Spurs might go and draw to Brentford, and then we roll on to next week. Like, there's no way that I can just see, you know, us just falling away from a cliff tomorrow, because if we lose tomorrow, it's done. It's actually fully done. Like that little bit of hope we have, like it's fully over. But I just got a weird feeling of us with Lokonga there in midfield.
It'll probably be El Neni. El Neni.
El Neni, yeah, El Neni in midfield. He actually had a good game the other night. El Neni, Nketiah might start, but I don't fear Nketiah against the Varane. I just feel like this Arsenal team isn't amazing, and whoever scores first tomorrow, that's the big goal. That's the big goal.
Also, the top, like I don't want to cut you off here, but see, like McTominay, yeah, what's important is that the role that he plays, in a sense where if he's not the holding midfielder, that's a different McTominay then, as opposed to McTominay and Fred. Because
probably should be Matic and McTominay.
Yeah. Because if it's like McTominay and Fred, McTominay holds and Fred does the roaming, and obviously he's really decent at that. But the fact is McTominay's not holding.
McTominay can't hold. Yeah.
If you've got the security of Matic, McTominay then becomes a different player. He's still not good enough, but he then becomes he's able to then he's good at. He's able to do. Yeah, he utilizes his strengths a lot more than he would from a holding position. So 100%. Whether it be like carrying the ball or just roaming, and he becomes, dare I say, more of an attacking threat, because he does have attacking qualities. Like he's good in the air, he arrives into the box late, he can strike a ball well. So then I feel like that partnership of McTominay and Matic changes the dynamic, because you don't release in McTominay. So
Yeah.
I am,
Matic, McTominay, Bruno. That's the midfield.
yeah, I am quietly confident. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
We're live in it, so I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it. Everyone's seen me say it. I am. I am
Yeah.
quite
I
confident.
know what you mean. I'm sure. I'm going in there a bit. I'm rubbing my beard like.
Yeah. And I'll say this as well. Yeah, I might get cooked for this, but say if we win tomorrow and we beat Chelsea.
Yeah, I hear it. Let's
Like
not
I
talk
said,
too
like,
much. Michael, what are you saying, Michael? Because you seem like
Bro,
me and Michael just chatting fried eggs.
Like
yo, you guys are very confident.
This top four race, yeah, it's just 1 week you're in it, the next week you're not in it. But what I will say, if we get 6 points out of the next 2 games,
Fair. I have no confidence in this team after what I saw on Tuesday. These guys had me in class looking ready to curse them out. I was seeing, you know what? The funny thing about the Liverpool game was the first 3 minutes we actually looked good. I saw us like do some decent stuff, and then all it took for them was one ball in behind, and they were through, and then they scored right away. I'm like, that's great, fantastic. So yeah, it's like
it's gonna be a different. It's gonna be a different United, though. It is gonna be a different United.
That's true. I mean, also I think Ronaldo. I think I'm echoing a little.
go.
Yeah. Okay. What's it called? So yeah, with Ronaldo coming back, I think that'll be huge. Obviously he's grieving. I think that's gonna, like, respectfully, that's gonna put a little like chip on his shoulder in a little bit. Like he's gonna want to like score and stuff like that, like in honor of like his lost son and stuff like that. So I think he's gonna be hungry tomorrow. He's also really good at the Emirates in prior history, like 12 years ago. So that is his playground a little bit, as well as Lingard, who might play tomorrow. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I can see us winning tomorrow. Like I said, I can see Ronaldo scoring a brace and then we win. So, like, anything can happen. You never know. It's 2 clubs that are like, I call them hideous twins because they're the same thing. They're both not good.
You just don't know which one's going to turn up. And player for player, we've got the better player. So I hope we turn up.
Yeah. One player I was actually thinking about, like, you guys talk about the midfield. Would you start Hannibal tomorrow? Because obviously he was the only one that showed fight on Tuesday. And I was gassed. I can't believe I missed it because I was editing stuff and I turned the game off at halftime because I couldn't be bothered to watch that club play anymore. So I heard that Hannibal just came on and started kicking people like he was in MMA, which I loved. Honestly, I called him a dog. I'm like, yo, you know what? Fair enough, because the other players didn't want to try. So just go in there, kick some people, show some intensity. So would you guys do you think that Ralph like saw that and like might be like willing to start him tomorrow, or do you think he'll just go back to the Matic, Bruno, McTominay midfield?
I think because McTominay's back now, you probably play him, and I think again, without even sounding disrespectful, I feel like, and I've tweeted this before, I don't think Ralph is a huge fan of Maguire. I just don't think he can be bothered to deal with like the kickback of dropping him. So like the coverage that comes with it, and all of a sudden is Maguire captain, blah blah blah. I feel like what's happened recently has provided the perfect excuse for him to slowly just usher him out of the side. And so I feel like now he's not in the side, I feel like he doesn't feel like he needs to play like the likes of Hannibal and whatnot, because there's a solid enough base for him to go out and win the game.
Yeah, fair. I don't think he starts, man. I think he'll be on the bench, and I think he could come on if we're winning the game comfortably. But I feel like it was like a token to throw him on the other day. I don't feel like Ralph had in his plans to throw him on, if I'm totally honest. I feel like it was, you know what, we're getting beat 3-1 or 3-0. We're getting beat 3-0 at the time. Go on and just show these players that you care about playing for Manchester United. It was kind of like, not use you as the scapegoat, but kind of, you go out and just show that ambition, that bit of desire for 5 minutes, and show what the other players should have been doing. It doesn't mean that I don't think Hannibal's not good enough, of course. I think he'll get some minutes in between now and the end of the season, especially if we lose tomorrow and top four's basically done. I do feel like you get more minutes. But I think, you know what, like, if you could talk about the whole season, this is actually, like, as much as Man United fans are quite calm, because we all feel like we're on a Ten Hag hype now, we've conceded the top 4. It's actually our biggest game of the season tomorrow. Like, and it's weird because I was talking to my mates at work, and he's an Arsenal season ticket holder. He's going to the game. He couldn't stop talking about it all day. And I was like, "Raw, you're actually like crazy excited." And he's like, "But you should be, because your season actually comes down to this." And I was like, as much as we talk about Ten Hag and everything that's going on, it really does. Like, if we win tomorrow, we are right back in it. If we lose tomorrow, we are actually completely done. So, like, as much as I'm like 15, I'm nervous. I'm quietly, nervously confident. I think when 12:30 comes tomorrow and they're walking out, I will be in match mode. Like, I feel like I am ready for this, man, because it's not over. I feel like we can beat Arsenal, and with a Matic, McTominay, and Bruno midfield, I just got a feeling that like it could work tomorrow. And if Sancho and that can get into spaces, Cedric might not be playing. It might be Rob Holding or Ben White at right back. I'm hearing, like, do you know what I mean? I don't know who he goes with, but I'll probably go Rashford over Elanga on the right and Ronaldo up front. Why can't we beat them? Do you know what I mean? If these players really want it, and this is an Arsenal team that is not the best, yes, they beat Chelsea, but they got handed some goals. Like, we just got to go toe for toe with them. I don't think it should be. I don't want us to go in there too tactical. I think we need to go there with the attitude of we can score, not go in there and try and like soak it up and play on the counter. No, don't do that. Go there, believe in your football, because I think Arsenal give away chances. We've watched them all season. Yes, they win games, but they give away chances, even if they keep clean sheets. So, yeah, man, let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes.
And Tavares at left back isn't the greatest. So
no, exactly. And Rashford in behind. Like, you know what I mean? You could get in behind with a big pitch. Michael, I've got to make a move. Is that all right?
Yeah, come. Thank you again for coming on.
But honestly, big up for having me. Yeah, my work phone's going mental, man. I've missed 7 calls. Yeah, that's why I keep looking to my right. It's just going off every minute. But yeah, big up everyone for obviously watching. Make sure you subscribe to Jogger Benito. You can find us Trafford Tunnel on YouTube. Obviously, follow myself, Tarrant_MC_Sar415M and Michael_Griggs. Do keep doing your thing, man. But hopefully we can win tomorrow. And when we come back on, we've got some good stuff to talk about, man. But thank you guys. Appreciate all right.
Safe.
Safe. Yeah, you guys are very confident. I wish I had your optimism with this club, because I do not have that optimism with them tomorrow. But and then for like the fullbacks, obviously, do you go with the same fullback pairing that we saw on Tuesday, the Dalot Wan-Bissaka, or do you bring back my least favorite player at the club, Alex Telles?
Play Dalot left back and Wan-Bissaka right back. Telles will suffer on that big pitch. He would absolutely get caned. Like, he can't move. He doesn't progress the ball well enough. It's just a case of who would you rather, Wan-Bissaka or Telles? Like, who you would you? But at least with like Wan-Bissaka, there's some sort of like defensive solidarity. He might not be great on the ball, but at least like he offers something. Like, Telles doesn't really offer much unless it's like set pieces.
Yeah, no. Honestly, Wan-Bissaka, like, on was it Tuesday? He actually wasn't even that bad. We had way worse players than him. Like, even when he went to left back, I was like, I don't know what Ralph was doing, but by playing left wing back, but like, he's like doing some decent stuff. The fact that I think that he's better than Taze kind of shows that Taze's level is that low. But that's another discussion for another day on why I don't like that guy. But very unathletic players. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So, can I get a score from you for tomorrow?
I think tomorrow's gonna be a high scoring one,
Ooh, goals galore. That's gonna wake me up.
Well, at Old Trafford, it was like 3-2, innit?
Yeah.
I think it could be similar, but definitely not keeping a clean sheet. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
I don't know with Varane back. I don't know, but we always concede 1. Actually, I'm gonna say 2-1.
2-1. All right. I'll echo you. I'll go 2-1 United, even though I think we're gonna lose, but I'll predict that we win. I'll back my club for this last big game. You know what? Varane's finally playing a Big 6 game as well, because this guy's been dodging the Big 6 games the whole year. So it's good to have him for one of them. We'll see how he actually produces in it. So that'll be interesting. And who else? Wait, who else do they have? I'm guessing. Do you think that Arteta goes with Nketiah again over Lacazette?
I think he goes with Nketiah. He has to. He scored 2.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, that'll be an interesting game. Yeah, so it is a 6-pointer. So obviously, and I like who Spurs have Brentford, and I think Brentford could get at them too, because I think they're in really good form as well.
Yeah,
that game's at their ground, so
you
never know. So yeah, that'll be interesting. And then I'm trying to think, is there anything else? I think it's pretty much it. Yeah. So I think we covered everything. Ten Hag, Paul Mitchell. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Thank you to anyone that tuned in. Plug the socials real quick. Follow me at my. I'm not gonna arrow. Follow me on my Twitter at Michael_Griggs26. I hate with the arrow. Yeah. I'll follow the podcast. Follow me on TikTok, Juego Bonito Pod. I'll start posting more on that. TikTok things. I'm not that good at it, but it's
Yeah.
a stepping to work in progress. I like to say. Check out the United Journal, my new article on Julian Timber. That was really good to write about. Hopefully we sign him because I have long-term plans for him as our right back in under Ten Hag, and then tuck in as the third center back in whatever system Ten Hag plays. So that'd be really nice as well. And then follow Trafford Tunnel, like Ty said. Obviously, continue doing their good stuff over there on Manchester United. Their shows weekly. And do you want to plug your stuff as well?
Just South 15. That's it really. Just catch me on Trafford Tunnel.
Any more big trophy opportunities for you, or you're done with or you're retiring with the treble this year?
My season's pretty much done, man. I've only got like 3 games left this season. So yeah, we move again next season, man. Like I said, like the feeling was so good that you just want to keep having it again and again. So next season, hopefully, there'll be some more trophies to win.
All right, I like that. You know what? You bring the trophies home. Man United ain't bringing any trophies home, so you might as well be the one that we bring trophies home. So, and yeah, that's pretty much it. As for my plan for next week, I got a Serie A show on Wednesday morning. Well, Wednesday morning here, afternoon in the UK with my boy Rav. And then next week's UCL show on Fridays, which we typically do. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for anyone that tuned in, that left comments, and we'll watch it later on. So for anyone that didn't watch it live, and yeah, peace.
Safe.